Hi, Jonathan here again. This is another video in our fire series. We're at the top of Deep Canyon at along Mulholland Drive, along one of the Mulholland corridor specific lookouts. You'll notice on the sign right here it says Mountains Recreation and Conservation Authority High Fire Alert. And I want to talk about the preparation and being prepared. Off to my left is Deep Canyon. It's a group of many homes, very expensive homes that drop down into the canyon. Off to my right, you'll see a downslope. We've talked about downslopes and preparation of downslopes before. On the far right, you have the entire San Fernando Valley. The Santana winds come out of the north. They blow south. They blow up through these canyons. As they get to the canyons, they blow faster. They come up over this ridge line. Imagine, God forbid, a fire was started anywhere down in this lower basin canyon. Anywhere. It could be a car fire, a gardener, a spark from a piece of equipment. Here again, we're in another area in the midst of billions of dollars worth of real estate. If you look off to my right, you'll see a gated development that's off here to the right that's all multi-million dollar homes, 5 million, 10 million. There's a home that's back there in on the ridge that's for sale presently for $15 million. Well-known name, somebody there, I won't mention, but a home that's for sale for $15 million. So there's the money here to do it. There certainly are people that can get involved, that can either be taxed, that could create a benefit improvement district, that can volunteer to save their own homes, right? So as we continue down, I want you to look down in this canyon. Yes, some of the brush was trimmed down here close to the road, but if you look far down into this canyon, look at all the dry brush. Look at all the foliage. Look at all the heavy foliage that's here. We're here for a particular reason, and you're going to see and understand that as we continue on a little bit farther, which is why we're kind of moving around some in this video. I'm going to show you amazing things just right here that are things that should be solved, resolved. We should not be dealing with these as issues at all. I'm going to turn around here for a minute. We're going to continue down. I'm going to have you now look off to my right and look down into the canyon. What am I always talking about in so many of my videos? The dreaded palm tree, and the damage that they can create right in the middle of all of this dry foliage. Probably on a private piece of property, there's 2 palm trees with dry foliage all the way to the ground. If those were to light up in a fire and you had heavy wind, those embers are going to fly in chunks up and over this ridge and land down in this canyon. So imagine, if you will, and this is a little bit of fire science, and the fire department knows what they're doing. They know how to kind of be prepared, and they do their best to be ahead of this. But if you imagine all of the fire department is here working on this fire, you have those embers flying up this ridge line, landing down in this canyon. The canyon off in my distance, Deep Canyon, connects down into Benedict Canyon, and it goes on into Beverly Hills. These are potentially huge disasters in the making, and I feel very strongly that I think that there's ways, very cost effectively, that we can be proactive to minimize this. We're going to continue to move on in this one spot, and we've not even left this mountain overlook. Directly over my shoulder, behind me, over both shoulders, you're going to see a brand new construction site. All plywood, covered in plywood. Directly next to that construction site, you're going to see 2 or 3 extremely large, dry, dead trees. Those are eucalyptus, filled with oils. What's just to the right? Those dreaded palms I talked about and all that dry brush. This area right in here, in this one small frame, is an excellent example of the potential for an incredible fire disaster to happen by one spark. The other thing that you have, and this has become a real reality in a lot of California, you've got this dirt road down here, and unfortunately, homeless people are finding their ways to camp in these hillsides. Many of the fires that have been started recently along the fires or in some of the parkway areas or river bottoms have happened as a result of homeless people doing their best that they can to kind of survive, but they have a piece of cooking equipment, or one of them recently actually set the fire on purpose because somebody stole a bike. We can't allow this. We've got to do what we can to try and minimize these problems. I'm going to have you pan over my right shoulder again, or actually off to my right, and if you look in the canyon, all along that ridge line, Those are all multi-million dollar homes. Not million or 2 million. We're talking 5 million, 10 million, 15 million dollar homes. And look, even along that ridge line, you have brush. Yes, some of them have done their clearance, but if you look at that brush that's along that side there, you get a hot fire. People don't realize that some of the flame lengths on these big fires are 50, 75, 100 feet long. And the heat goes past that. Just because you have a flame that might stop here, that heat that's generated from that flame, no different than a campfire, if you imagine, that heat that's generated from that flame right here literally can blow out windows on a home and cause combustion in another area 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 feet away. So again, I wanted to stop and use this as an example of an area that I think that we can affect positive change. I think neighborhoods can be proactive. I think our city agencies can be proactive. I call on a councilman in this district or council person in this district to make some effort in creating some effective change. The mayor, and in the state of California, this is happening all across the state. We can make a difference. I believe we can make a difference. I'm hopeful that my videos make a difference and at least call to action some people so we try and stop some of these horrible things from happening again in the future. Thank you, and for more information, or if you'd like some information from me, you can go to Jonathan Company Home, info@Jonathan Company Home. Thank you again.